Welcome to GCCars. My name is Eric and this is the Mercedes-AMG CLA35. We gotta talk about the exterior because this CLA has the best color combination of any vehicle we've ever had, period. Because I'm a sucker for yellows, as I've said on multiple occasions, and this sun yellow makes this actually the first press car we've had in yellow. So thanks Mercedes for that, and especially with the black accents on the mirror, on the rims and all that, it just looks fantastic, I must say. A little more black here wouldn't have hurt, but I don't want to complain too much. Overall, I think the CLA from certain angles, yes, can look a little goofy, but this yellow on black scheme is just, it just makes me look beyond anything that I might not like. Of course, Mercedes likes to call this a coupe. There's 4 doors here. It's a fastback, it's not a coupe. You slope the roof, that's it. Still a fastback sedan. Anyhow, and the back, what will you notice, for everybody who knows a bit about the CLA, this is a different bumper than you get in Europe, because this is the North American bumper. You see those big meaty things next to the license plate? Yep, those are crash protection, and yeah, I don't think they're too bad looking, but of course they're not quite as Mercedes originally intended them to be. Honestly, this looks really good from the back and the back rear 3/4 angle. Yes, overall, absolutely love it. But let me know what you think of this CLA. Let's take a look at the interior though, because if you buy a Mercedes, you gotta have a nice interior, right? Okay, interior time with the CLA35, and even though this is technically an entry-level Mercedes, it is still very, very nice in here and very comfy. Materials are very good all throughout the cabin. Everything is plush that you touch. It's what you expect from a Mercedes. And the seats, we got these are the default seats you get in the CLA35. Very comfy, hold you in place very well, and I love the driving position. But what I love the most, absolutely in love with it, is this steering wheel. It's just awesome. First of all, grip is very, very, very good on here. Then we have beautiful metal pedals behind it to shift. We have a noon marker up top, and then we have a flat bottom and actually a little bit of flat side. So the cool thing about all this is mixing materials and having flat sides means no matter what turning you do, you don't even have to look at your steering wheel and you know exactly where your hands are, which is actually really nice. Very easy to orientate yourself. And of course, with the AMG drivers package, we get these beautiful switches down here to change drive modes, which are just so satisfying. And then we can customize the ones on the left to do whatever we want. It's awesome. And of course, otherwise, well, it's the Mercedes. We got the MBUX system up top. Still, the tablet look is a little, tacked on looking, but it works very, very well. It is extremely customizable, especially the screen up front, your infotainment, gauge cluster screen. You have like 3 different gauge themes, and then you have, you see the B-roll. You see how adjustable that is? It's incredible. And of course we have amazing interior lighting. We have our wireless charger, and MBUX is either a touchscreen for you or with a touchpad. I really like the touchpad, but no music here. I really, really like this cabin. Super comfortable, very nice. Quickly talking about the back row, of course, with it being a compact car, it is a little compromised. At 5'7", I fit very well behind myself. Materials are good, and you do have cup holders, the quirky ones we've already had in Mercedes before. And we have one singular USB-C slot just behind here, so you gotta fight for that. But yeah, no, this is nice. This is very nice, as you expect from Mercedes. But let's take a look at the, no, don't. I forgot about that. The "Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?"
system, which, to be fair, I previously said it is nice, but it's still a gimmick because it doesn't compare to a phone system. And yes, that is true, but I've grown on it a little bit because I've used other voice control systems in other cars, and they're the most horrendous voice controls. And this one, MBUX, actually works pretty decently. So if we compare to them, very, very good. Anyhow, let's take a look at the trunk. How about that? Buongiorno. Welcome to the trunk of the CLA35. And in here, because of course, once again, compact little compromise. We have 11.6 cubic feet of space, which you can put a suitcase in here, but you might want to use the back if you want to need. What are you doing? Hey, dude! Let me out, man. Come on,
Hello.
wait.
I am sorry that
Hello.
I have not seen you for a while.
Hello.
I know, very regrettable. But I saw that he reviews this car, this serious German performance car, in a way that I do not approve of. This must be more serious. Now, there are some allegations against this vehicle that I must address. Some people, especially on online forums where people are weirdly strong about their opinions, like to say that this is not a real AMG. Because, let me show you the apparent problem. I must open the Motorhaube for that. You see the issue? It is not handbuilt. There is no signature, and according to some purists, an engine that is not handbuilt does not belong in an AMG. Okay, noted. With that being said, let's see if this is really an AMG and get driving. And out here on the road, you certainly notice it is more than just a badge slap. But as always, we start off with a launch. Let's put it into individual with our beautiful steering wheel controls. ESP into sport. Actually, it's ESP and traction control off. Just don't want any interference with that. And then we're going to brake torque. Just stop her down. Brake torque. And let's go. All right. And there we go. Woo! Okay, she's pretty quick. And you can hear the backfire. Let's put it into individual so we can use the paddles ourselves. I have individual essentially in Sport Plus and manual shifting. So, we have a turbocharged 2-liter inline 4 producing 302 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, sent through all 4 wheels, torque is hard, through a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. And this is fast. When I got into this and I was like, okay, 300 horsepower, I expected it to be quick, but not like this quick. This is genuinely very quick, and it has the demeanor in terms of like its noise level and its general acoustics that are in line with what you expect from an AMG. What does that mean? Well, there we go. It took a little while. Just within certain RPM, it does it. If we slow it down a little more, there we go. It has the pops, it has the crackles, it has the bangs. It'll make noise. It'll make a lot of noise, and it sounds surprisingly good. Does it sound as good as like a Veloster? And I wouldn't necessarily say so, but it has a bit of a different attitude. The Veloster is a little more playful. This is a very, very, very serious machine, despite it being painted in sun yellow and being a compact car. But it is certainly very different to previous AMGs, well, the E63 that we have driven. The E63, while being just ridiculously fast, stupidly fast, way too quick for any actual driving on the road without you getting into jail. This, of course, with half the horsepower, gives you a bit more ability to kind of ring it out on public roads within reason and just kind of have a bit of fun without instantly going to jail, which is really nice. But it lacks a little bit of, it's a very German execution on a sporty compact car. And what I mean by that is that this just goes. It's kind of like a point and shoot machine. Doesn't matter what you throw at it, corners, you accelerate out of corners, out of turns, you just floor it, you brake, whatever happens, this car just stays stable, it stays solid, and it just goes. You just, like I said, you just point it, give it gas, and you shoot it. And that is, on one hand, very impressive. And on the other hand, just a little different than I'm used from AMGs, from the one AMG, and from what I know from AMG. Because, of course, this is kind of mechanically the mechanical reason behind it, because the E63, the C63, all of these, they're rear-wheel drive biased all-wheel drive machines. So they have a longitudinal engine that sends power to the rear, and then if necessary, it'll send power to the front. This is completely the opposite, because the CLA is front-wheel drive based. So we send power to the front, and then if necessary, we can send up to 50% of our power to the back wheels. That does become noticeable, especially if you launch it. Sometimes it'll bog down a little because the front wheel starts spinning, and then there's like this couple milliseconds of a delay of like, okay, I need power to the back, and then you go. But in terms of like handling, it is surprisingly neutral. I expected this to understeer, but it just goes. Also, it is just like the E63, way too capable. It is still fun. But this just kind of eats up anything you throw at it. So I'm very impressed. You notice, this is not a badge slap, getting back to what we were talking about, right? This is definitely, in my opinion, an AMG. Is it as rowdy in terms of its demeanor and its driving characteristics as other AMGs? No, it's not. But I think that's okay, because in terms of what this is supposed to be, this is really good. This drives very engaging. This is very quick. It is ridiculously quick. It's just, you just got to know what you're looking for. Do you look for a car that, you know, you kind of have to wrangle a little, you have to dance a little around with it to get the performance out of it that you want, then this might not be for you. But if you just want to have a car that points, shoot, and it freaking goes wherever you want it to go because it's so capable, yeah, this is absolutely great and will do so. Of course, we do need to give some credit to the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's we have around or for wheels, because those are fantastic tires, the best tires you could put on this. Amazing tires, incredible grip. Ontario is very flat, it's very straight. This is the most curvy road I know in Ontario. So, or at least within reasonable distance of Toronto. But even here, like street legal speeds, it's just like, no, Mr. F-150, why you have to do me like that? Oh, you keep him, thank you. He just turns off to the side. What a nice, thank you. The first guy doing it today. He's like, I see you coming, I'll just move over, have fun. Be like that, guys. Anyhow, let's have a bit more fun here. It just goes. It's incredible. But let's talk a little bit about more daily driving. We have to talk about it, put it into comfort, and see how it does. We do have the adaptable suspension. So now we're in the comfort mode, which is actually, it's very cheap. Get it? It's very cheap for what you're getting. So now we're in comfort, and it is very comfy. It is quiet in here. It is very, like, the ergonomics are great. It is comfy to drive, and it's a very pleasant place to be in. But you do definitely compromise ride quality with this, because you have 19-inch wheels, you have low-profile tires, you have a stiffer suspension. That means bumps and potholes will definitely be a lot more noticeable. You will have bigger potholes in here, and that will upset kind of like your back and your seat, and you just be like, sometimes you're like, ow. Okay, this is not super comfortable. But if you get an AMG or any sporty car, what's like that's expected. It's just so you know, like if you're thinking about a non-AMG or this comes with compromise, but a lot of capability. And lastly, what we want to talk about is tech, because we always talk a little bit about tech, and tech in here is actually very little. In terms of driving tech, we do of course have our fancy MBUX system and all that, which we talked about. We have a great controls on the steering wheel, which I just absolutely love, but I've already talked about how much I love the steering wheel. We can actually go back to, I just gotta have fun. And of course our brakes are great, but not that you expected anything else. Whew. Okay, but tech, like any other luxury manufacturer pretty much, everything like safety, most safety tech is just add-ons. We don't have automatic high beams. We don't have lane keep assist. We don't have adaptive cruise control. Even so, a lot of tech you just kind of use on your daily commute, you just don't have in here as spec. You can spec it on top, but that makes it a little more expensive. But that just means as spec, this is very compromised in terms of daily driving. You do have blind spot monitoring, and the most important safety assist that exists, which is forward emergency braking. You see, I literally did a horrible thing with this car. Driving 10 kilometers an hour, like 90-degree or more lock on the steering wheel, and just floored it. And it didn't complain. That's what I mean. Point and shoot. No understeer, no oversteer, just go. Now Mercedes is always, you pay a lot for the brand, let's say like that, right? So value, even for a luxury brand, is not always their strong suit, and I've been vocal about that in my previous reviews. But when I got into this, I didn't get the spec sheet right away, so I thought to myself, okay, what would I pay for this? What would I think is a reasonable price for this CLA35? And I thought to myself, okay, $62,000 seems reasonable. This is very comfy, this is incredibly capable, but we do miss out on quite a bit of stuff as spec. And once I got the spec sheet, we get out to $62,590 Canadian, so right on the mark. And honestly, US dollar price, of course, somewhere on the screen right now. For that price, this is actually decent value. What you get is really good. Of course, it's still a compact car, right? So you will be compromised in terms of space, in terms of seating capacity, and yeah, it's just fun. It's fun. You just got to know about that. But if you spec it a little differently, you are able to get some of the good things you might be missing out right now and change it. For example, do you need a $400 for the upgraded audio system? Honestly, not worth it. This isn't bad, but it's not much of an upgrade about the base audio, so forget about that. Do you need $150 for AMG illuminated audio sills? As door sills? I don't know. And do you need like $400 or something AMG projector lights or $200 that shine down when you open the door? Maybe just scrap all of these and instead spend a little more for a head-up display, or spend even more for your assist systems. So it's always pick and choose with these. But as spec, honestly, I think it's a decent value. You're getting a fun little car if you don't need all the space in the world, but you want to have something that's capable, that is comfortable at the same time. Yeah, this AMG CLA35 might just be the car for you. And is it an AMG? In my books, yes. It is not as rowdy, it is not as playful as some of the other ones, but it is insanely capable, and one of the most important aspects with the acoustics are there. So with that being said, good job, Mercedes. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, because we upload videos every single week, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.